My name is Kwabena Chenche. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. To our very first story, and join news has uncovered a great manipulation scheme at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, formerly IPS. Documents available to join news reveal how the password of the school's Deputy Director of Information Services and Technology Department, Paul Dankwa, was allegedly used to change the grades of some 22 students. The students reportedly paid various sums of money ranging from 1,500 to 4,000 Ghana cedis to have their poor exam grades changed. Journalist Kwetenate has more in the following report.
The exam fraud was first detected by the Academic Affairs Director of the University of Professional Studies, Accra. He became suspicious of the grades of one of the average students in his class who had requested for his transcript. The grades of 22 students were found to have been changed. Fortunate Phil is a lawyer for UPSA.
Our system was compromised, and we got to know that 22 students of ours had their grades changed for them. The school quickly moved in and shut down the system. All such students were subsequently put before a disciplinary committee, and the disciplinary committee is still investigating some aspects of the issues.
Document intercepted by Joy News on an information security auditing carried out by AKK Risk Management Consult on the exams fraud reveal that the scandal, which occurred in April last year, was initially investigated by the Deputy Director of the ITSD, Paul Dankwa, but further probe revealed that the Deputy Director's password was used to change the grades. Lawyer Fortunate Phil says the grades of the 22 final year students allegedly involved in the exam scandal have been reversed.
I can safely say that they are students. They were final year students as of last year. They were supposed to have graduated, and most of them had papers to write, and so the grade change actually occurred in relation to those papers, and we have reversed them.
Investigations by the BNI into the scandal point to the involvement of a director of one of the departments, Edwin Ayeno. The report adds that the phone records indicated that his services were solicited for the grade change. But Mr. Ayeno insists he is innocent.
The BNI came to our campus and invited a number of officers to, as part of their process for investigating what is being described as grade manipulation of the system. And there are several officers that I know, or various officers that I know, who were invited for their investigation, and as part of their operation, they interviewed or they invited a couple of senior officers in regard to this. The BNI took computers, documents, and my personal phone as well. The BNI have returned all these items to me. So the question is, if the BNI found any evidence, what would be the basis of returning? If the BNI found something incriminating me on my phone, why would the BNI give the phone back to me?
Even before school authorities complete their investigations, our sources indicate some of the students have confessed to paying monies ranging from 1,500 cedis to 4,000 cedis to have their grades changed. Former SRC President Sam Chris Obodai wants those complicit dismissed.
As a human being or as a student, you are being molded to become responsible in the society. If you acquire knowledge that you are coming to misappropriate it in the society, we don't have to allow you to go into the society with that kind of knowledge. Because if you are good at stealing, or passing fraudulent ways of getting grades, then of course when you get to the industry, I don't know what they're going to do. Either you're going to be so much corrupt, and when they get you to the public level, then it's going to be public sector, and it's going to be worse. So from the word go, the person came out of the university system with a fraud grade. I mean, grade that he didn't work for, but a grade that, well, he paid money to get it. So already the person is a fraudulent person. We don't allow this person to come to the society. Don't forget that as a student leader, you are not there just to say that anything that the student does, you have to defend them. You have to defend the good things, assist the management to mold the life of these students, convert their life to acceptable standard that society will be proud of. So you will not just be there because somebody went to buy and say, as a student leader, I share in their sentiment, therefore a management should pardon them. No. If these are things that is happening for the first time, let's stop it by suspending them. Dismissing them.
It appears beyond the 22 students, there is a whole cartel which must be smoked out and punished before they cause further harm to the image of the school. For Joy News, Kwetenate, Accra.
To some more stories now, and more than 2,000 unemployed nurses across the country today demonstrated to demand jobs from government. The nurses who have been without jobs in the past 3 years say the demonstration was to draw government's attention to their plight. Matilda Pomega was with the unemployed nurses earlier today and is joining me on phone now with the very latest. So, Matilda, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Has this demonstration ended, and really, what transpired?
Yes, the demonstration ended about 20 minutes ago at the Hartlepool Park in Accra, where the petition was presented to the Health Ministry. But the Health Minister wasn't available then, so the Director of Legal, Amidu, who was the one who received the petition on behalf of the Health Ministry, who assured that immediate action will be taken to address their concerns. But the students, or the nurses, I should say, are still not satisfied with the response they have gotten so far, because according to them, they were hoping to hear something positive from the Health Ministry, but nothing of that sort has happened. So they are giving government 1 week to respond to their concerns, else they would get back to the streets to put their issues back to government again.
So what has been the reaction from government as far as this issue is concerned? Because we do know that government did bring out a notice sometime last week or so, suggesting that, well, indeed, the processes had begun and that these nurses were going to be given jobs. So really, with the nurses coming back to demand jobs, what is government saying?
So I'm here with the public relations officer for the Health Ministry, Tony Goodman, to get some clarity as to exactly what is being done to address this concern raised by these nurses. So, Tony, tell me, what exactly is it accounting for today for these nurses to be posted?
Thank you very much, Mr. Oda. I don't know about it, because that's what we the issue. Requesting nurses to go and buy or acquire forms from various agents where the recruitment process begins. And according to them, they don't want to buy forms. They want us to send for the recruitment. We are the employers. They are telling you to go get the form, fill, and then go through the process. We said no. So I'm surprised. I was surprised to hear that people don't. They were here, as we are having a health class. We invited them at a meeting. We agreed that, okay, this is what we have. We are not going to demonstrate. Let's make sure we all get the form, go through the process, and then you get approved. They said no. So after the demonstration, they also go through that particular process they were supposed to go, which is the ideal thing. That's the only thing we can get.
According to some of the nurses I talked with some few hours ago, they are saying they have cited this form even by. They want to know exactly where this form has been placed.
My sister, they know. Some of them have secured this form and even talking.
I spoke with the leadership, and they say they've come to the regions and they haven't seen any of these forms. Where exactly did the Ministry of Health put this form?
It's very easy for you to come together to demand benefits. But there is nothing like leadership here. The leadership is the Ministry of Health. We train them. They are part of our ministry. We funded them. And we are saying that go and pick a form and our employees. I don't know where these leaders are coming in.
How long does it take for them to be fully absorbed into the system? How long must it take?
If you complete nursing school within 10 months, we should be able to process a lot of and make sure that. But within 10 months, we've not even got into 9 months. So we have asked them to go get their forms and then do.
So 10 months is supposed to be the standard practice?
Yes, that is what we've agreed with their mother associations.
You agreed with them how?
Ghana registered nurses, midwife association. They know about this policy. And then I met the president, but it's not even up to 10 months for you to start going on the demonstration. So I'm surprised that the best thing for them is after going on the demonstration, the next thing they have to be thinking about is to go get the form. They should look for the form. They should go to Ghana Health Service.
But where are the forms?
Go to the teaching hospital.
They have
go
gone
to Ghana Health Service. No, I have spoken to some of them just this morning. Who said it's going to
I spoke to some of them this morning. They're saying they haven't
yes,
the form.
It's because they don't want to go. I have spoken to some called me and said, okay, I've gone for the form. What should I? I said, take the topic back. So the whole issue is that go to the teaching hospital, go to Ghana Health Service, procure a form, fill it and submit it, and then you put through the process.
But, so getting this form doesn't mean they get the financial clearance as well?
No, the financial clearance is for the employer. It's not an issue for the employee. The employee is supposed to go get the form, fill that form, and then you submit the form to me. Whether I have financial clearance, it's not their business. That is for the employer.
Because they will go through this process, get the forms, and then we come back again to say that there's no financial clearance from the finance ministry again. Then it brings us all back to square zero.
And so that is the employer's language.
And so you are putting them in a difficult situation.
No, do your best. Yours is to get the form. I said, go get the form. You said, no, you not get the form. Get the form. If I'm not able to get the financial clearance.
Tell us specifically where these forms stand.
All the 4 teaching hospitals, Kolebu, Konfanoche, Tamale Teaching Hospital, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and Ghana Health Service regional offices of the country.
With this delay, do we assume that some of these nurses are not qualified to be in the system? That is why they are not being absorbed?
My sister, you've heard in the past that we got people from other countries coming into this country to get employed. They were not trained by us. We want you and I, when we get to hospital, we are safe and we know who to take care of. That's all we want. We don't want to say that because when we have to know their status, we have to know their standing before they work.
Right, we just lost the public relations officer of the Ministry of Health there, Tony Goodman, who was speaking to my colleague Matilda Fomega on that very issue of these unemployed nurses who embarked on a demonstration over the lack of jobs. While he's saying that regardless of that very action by the nurses, they still have to go through the normal process of picking up the forms and then going through the process of being recruited into the public sector. We'll be bringing you a lot more on this on our news and news analysis program, The Pulse, which airs at 3 p.m. on this channel. To some other issues, this time round relating to security, and Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee says concerns about shortage of police officers in the Upper West region is worrying. They are demanding urgent action after the Upper West Regional Police Command appealed to the IGP for more officers to be posted to the region due to a shortage of personnel in that very region. I'm speaking of the Upper West region. Now, with the creation of new districts, divisions and units within the police service, Regional Commander DCOP Kwesi Mensah Duku told the IGP the shortage of officers is hampering effective policing in the region. He was speaking at a ceremony to welcome the IGP to the region.
Lack of personnel within the inspectorate rank and SEOs, specifically sergeants, is a challenge. Consequently, a good number of the police stations are manned by junior NCOs. It is hereby requested that more NCOs, inspectors are posted to the Upper West region as a matter of urgency to fill the shortfall. At the moment, we have only one female police officer with the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police. There is no policewoman in the inspectorate rank, and only one female sergeant, and with a few female corporals. About 95% of policemen in the region are constables and lance corporals. This undermines effective supervision and discharge of police duties in the region.
Well, and you did hear there the regional commander of the Upper West Regional Command of the Ghana Police Service speaking on that very issue of a shortage of police personnel in the region. But on the line now is Major Derek Odro, retired, who is a Deputy Ranking Member of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee for a lot more on this. Major, good afternoon, many thanks for your time. So, I mean, you sound very alarmed by the complaint of shortage of police personnel in the Upper West region. How so?
Yeah, very, very alarmed because security situation in the country as a whole supposed to be the concern of all and sundry, especially the security agencies, the IGP, who's supposed to ensure that every region, every municipal area and every district is adequately covered by security ways. Now, if Upper West region is complaining bitterly that they have shortage of personnel, in security cycle, we need the senior officers, the middle level officers, and then those who perform the other ranks, who perform the actual duties. Now, these people supposed to be at a place where they are required to provide adequate security. Now, if we have shortage of those lower ranks, we have shortage of the middle level officers or the senior officers, there is a problem. And therefore, we would want to entreat the IGP to, as soon as possible, as the officer said, to ensure that we have personnel in the Upper West region.
Major, just a quick one here. I mean, is this a peculiar situation with just the Upper West region, or what, do you know if really this is a problem affecting the entire country, the entire workforce?
Maybe it's not as serious as we have in the Upper West. Otherwise, the officer wouldn't have complained. We have not heard any officer complaining bitterly like how the officer is complaining now. And therefore, it is very, very necessary for us to listen to him and then provide adequate security over there. Okay. It is very, very important for enlistment to be conducted. Since 2012, 2013, when the police have conducted a recruitment into the service, we haven't seen any recruitment again, maybe because of the financial situation. Therefore, we want to appeal to the government to ensure that as soon as possible, recruitment is conducted and then personnel posted to all the regions who have such similar problems on their hands.
Aside recommending, what more can your committee do?
The recommendation is what I'm making now. We have to invite the IGP. We have to invite all the necessary stakeholders who may have something to do with the shortage, and therefore we will sit down with them. In fact, we very soon we are inviting the IGP on the security situation, and therefore we would put this issue across and see how best we can solve the problem.
Is that to suggest that the committee is worried that maybe the lack of enough workforce might affect the work of the police this particular year? I'm speaking of this year being an election year, for instance.
Yeah, particularly, and almost everybody. Security is everybody's concern. Okay. And that is everybody's business. So it is not only the committee, but all and sundry in the country supposed to be worried about the security, especially those in the Upper West region. If you are there, you know that you don't have adequate security. You cannot meaningfully perform any function that would satisfy the nation. We need people to perform their duties in all the sectors, in agri, in health, and as well as in the security agencies.
All right.
And therefore, we need people there.
Okay, so
As soon
finally,
as
before you go,
possible,
Major.
IGP should tackle that situation.
Okay, finally, before I go, Major, I'm asking, how soon are you looking at bringing in the IGP to answer some questions?
Maybe within a matter of days, we have to meet him.
So before the close of the week?
Sure.
Okay, right. Major, many thanks for your time on news today. And that was Major Retired Derek Odro. He's the Deputy Ranking Member in Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, and he joined us over the phone lines with a lot more on the shortage of security personnel in some parts of the country. We're taking a break here on news today. When we return, we'll bring you a lot more stories. Don't go away. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some other stories now. And the National Peace Council is demanding a retraction and apology from former Transport Minister Jifar Ativo over comments which incites tribal sentiments. Jifar Ativo appealed to residents of the Volta region to retain the NDC in power in the upcoming polls in order to avoid the witch hunting of politicians from the region. According to her, the new patriotic party has the penchant for targeting and jailing leading figures of the NDC from the region when they are in power.
The NPP has planned to feed the Volta region with lies. But I want to tell the NPP that the agenda of peddling lies will not materialize in the region. We, the people of the Volta region, will forever remain members of the NDC. When the NPP won power in 2001, most ministers who are Ewes were imprisoned, including Salome, Abodaki, and a host of other ministers. Does that mean no individual from any other tribe has faltered in the discharge of their duties? I want to remind you that it is your votes that will decide if Fifi Kwete and I will be prosecuted and put behind bars or not. Do well to inform your relatives living in Togo to come and register during the limited voter registration exercise so they can vote for Fifi Kwete and John Mahama.
NDC gise because Fifi Kwete gise because John Mahama gise na mi aba ngolonko me sia me nya qualify be ngolonko ko na viole esa hope we yin na nabe wonko jela gbalame.
Well, following those very comments by the former minister, there's been widespread condemnation from quite a number of people within her party and indeed other parties. And as well, we've heard from the Christian Council calling on her to retract and apologize for those comments. Let's now go onto the phone lines and speak to Egypt Kudoto, who speaks for the former Transport Minister Jifar Ativo, and he's joining me over the phone lines now with some more. So, Egypt, good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us. Now, what does Madam Ativo make of the many calls for her to apologize for these comments?
Very good afternoon to you in the studio and then to your viewers around the world. I want to state categorically that on no occasion would my boss make statements that will incite the people of the Volta region against any political party or a group of people. She's never made any statement that was meant to incite the people against any group of people or a political party.
But we just had her make comments that suggest so. So clearly,
based on the history of the UP tradition, when I say the UP tradition, the political party that opposed the independence of this country since the period before independence, the period with Kwame Nkrumah, they are stuck in trade as far as their level of politics, their understanding of politics is concerned. She was just reminding the young people in Ketu South constituency to be careful with the kind of politics that the MPP preaches. She's never on any occasion asked the people of Ketu South to chase the MPP with machetes and guns when they come around. She's admonished them to listen to them, that they are coming to feed them with poisonous stories.
Egypt, just a second.
I'm coming to that. I'm building a point.
Okay.
I'm building a point. Allow me to build a point.
We do not have too much time, so just go straight to the point anyway.
All that she was trying to do was from hindsight, with the history that we know of the UP tradition, this is a political party that draws on policies of division, policies that exclude some group of people from the political participation. And this is a party that has a leading member in the person of Safumafo. That thinks that if you come from a part of the country that doesn't produce the natural resources of the state, you have no reason why you should contest to aspire to political office. So she was just admonishing that look, this group of people cannot be trusted with political power. Because in the first place, even in opposition, now that they are not even in power, they are going around fabricating registers of neighboring countries saying that this is the electoral register of Togo. All the names that we found in K2 South are in the Togolese register, and therefore the people in K2 South are not Ghanaians, and therefore should be deleted from the electoral register of Ghana.
In summary, Egypt, are you saying, Egypt, are you suggesting that...
Even in opposition, they think that you are not a Ghanaian. What happens to you when they come to power? They will totally clear you out of the country. So
Egypt, now let me ask, are you by this suggesting that the former minister did not err in any way? She didn't say anything that offends anyone?
She did not incite the people to fight the MPP. She admonished them to be careful with their lives and not make the mistake of giving them political power. Because if you give them
she's not going to apologize for her comments.
Even in opposition, they are deleting your name from the register because they say you are Togolese. Everybody,
Egypt, I need an answer to this very simple question. Is she going to apologize or not?
She said to the people of K2 South that the MPP thinks that you are all Togolese and that your leadership in the party in the region
that does not answer my question. I'm asking whether or not she's going to apologize for those comments.
If you're able to tell me what is wrong with reminding our people of the history of this country, by which we need to remind the young ones that the MPP cannot be trusted to unite our country, especially the current leadership of the party, the MPP, that even when the current leader of the party was a minister of state, he could treat the former president who was entitled to certain protocols and certain, privileges. He denied him of those privileges, even as a minister.
All right.
What happens to your leadership when he becomes the president of the republic?
So in summary, Jafar Atibo does not see anything wrong with
So basically, the issue is one of admonition. It's not one step by Kennedy Ejipon that was appealing to his people.
Egypt, I'm having a bit of a challenge with what you are saying now. I'm just asking a simple question.
Let us be truthful to
ourselves. Is she apologizing or not?
Apologizing, Mr. Smith, for inciting people. Has she incited a group against another?
So she doesn't admit that she's actually incited anyone to do any such thing.
As far as I'm concerned, once she didn't say things like an Ejipon said that they should go with my
that's fine. That's fine. But the founder of your party is saying, Egypt, hold on. The founder of your party, Jerry John Rawlings, has just released a statement saying that condemning the very statements you claim are not wrong or are not insightful in any way and don't seek to bring a bit of a divide here. Your founder and former president of the country has condemned these very statements and is suggesting that the former minister apologizes for such comments. You still are not going to apologize?
Which former minister apologized? That you mean the former president was calling on
the former president is calling on Jafar Atibo to apologize for those comments which you claim does not suggest that she added anyway.
Once I'm yet to see the statement you are referring to, so let me acquaint myself with the statement and know the content, then we can continue.
But as things stand now, Jafar Atibo is not apologizing for any comments.
I'm not saying I'm saying that I'm not aware of the statement you are referring to.
Okay, and again, you are justifying the fact that because someone in the MPP said something that was probably worse, this is nothing to write him about.
My brother, I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that to the extent that he didn't appeal to a group of people to go and fight our brothers and sisters or anybody in the NPP.
All right.
That they should reject them. I'm not.
Egypt Kuroto, many thanks for your time on News Today this afternoon. And Egypt Kuroto speaks for the former transport minister, Jafar Atibo, who has come under a lot of criticism for comments that seem to be divisive in nature. And indeed, the statement that just came through from the office of the former president, I'm speaking of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, suggests that he's also calling on this former minister to apologize for these comments, and he's condemned that very situation over there as well. So we can now... Okay, still on this subject, and since that statement by the former minister, there's been widespread condemnation from the opposition NPP and even her own party, the NDC. And former Minister of the Interior and Member of Parliament for Ifijasu Secretary Albert Kandapa has also urged Ghanaians to hold each other accountable in whatever capacity they serve as public officials. Speaking on the Super Morning Show earlier today, the former Interior Minister said it is high time public officials were made to account for their stewardship. He said public figures need to know that if they embezzle public funds, they will not be left off the hook. He was reacting to the alleged tribal comments made by former Transport Minister Jifa Ativo in the Volta region.
The Auditor General is also supposed to conduct a special procurement audit for all procurement activities by entities. And entities mean all government-owned institutions, the MDAs, the MMDAs, the state-owned enterprises. The Auditor General is supposed to do a special procurement audit in respect of all individual procurement activities undertaken by these
So all of these overpasses and all of these must be audited on their own?
With respect to the overpass, for example, the Auditor General is supposed to do an audit to tell us how the bidding process was undertaken, how many people put in bids, how the successful bidder was selected, how much money is involved, how long is he supposed to take, and how have they been progressing. He's supposed to give an annual report on all these things. But I tell you, he's never done it before.
So the Auditor General is not...
The only way to stop all this is to have a proper sanctions regime and the willingness to implement it. Number two, let people like you help us to preach to the Ghanaian that it is wrong to steal government funds. Today, people are praised when they do it. People are given the opportunity to even display the wealth. You know, they go to church, they give fat donations, and everybody prays for them. No. Can we start a special exercise to get Ghanaians to accept that when you steal government funds, it is a very, very serious crime? We need to do something radical like that. Today, that is not the case. Let us sanction. I mean, I get frustrated. If Mills had not decided that for the sake of unity, I will not punish NPP people who stole, a lot of NPP people would have gone to jail. And I said, if that was what Mills did, then he did a lot of injustice to this country. Why do you let people go just for the sake of unity?
The right must be done.
The right thing must be done.
Yeah.
If you don't punish people who do it, others will also do the same thing. Our Constitution recognized that if you provide so much money to a group of people called the president and his team, the government, and if
And that was former Interior Minister Albert Kandapa. He was the Interior Minister under the Eswa Kufuor administration, also having a stake on that very issue, as well as some other issues as pertains to the Public Accounts Committee's work. And you're watching News Today here on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We're taking a break. John Mwako joins us shortly with business. Stay with us.
And now time to update you on what is actually happening in the world of business, and beginning with the chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, Dr. Kwesi Botwe, has tasked small and medium-scale enterprises to develop a culture that enables them to improve upon their management systems. It is one of the strategies he thinks would help business overcome the current operational challenges. He was speaking at the maiden SME Financing Fair organized by the government in Accra.
Talking about financing for the SMEs, we must be looking beyond just bank credit. So we must form a culture in the SMEs themselves that leads to an improvement in management systems and so on, and encourages them to seek other forms of long-term capital, including risk capital. even as, of course, they go to the banks for money. I have met in my capacity as chairman of the private sector development strategy a number of business, SME, young business types who they want to keep their businesses as their own. They want to own their businesses for themselves, perhaps with their families, but don't want anybody else on the board table with them. You can't grow an enterprise that way. So in talk about financing, we must broaden the debate, the discussion, to include creating a culture and an environment, the kind of entrepreneurship in the SMEs that will enable them to grow and become eligible for accessing other forms of capital, whose servicing is often not quite as onerous as those of bank lending.
Dr. Kwesi Botwe there, and the president of the Ghana-Canada Chamber of Commerce, Salah Kalmoni, has emphasized the country must enhance its competitive advantage potential in international trade to make maximum economic gains. This, he noted, could transform Ghana into a trade hub within the sub-region. Speaking at the Ghana-Canada Chamber of Commerce Power Breakfast, the president of the chamber, Salah Kalmoni, told Joy Business the nation's tropical food sector, for instance, is one viable area that can be enhanced to boost international trade.
And as a country, we are maturing. We no longer a developing country. We have reached middle class status, and that's where we need more trade. And when you do more trade, then you can go to the next level. Yes. The most, I think, sector which works very well is the tropical industry, which is the farming. We're talking about cashew nuts. We are talking about cocoa, pawpaw. Now, cocoa, we already do it, all the pineapple, all these ones, we can process them. We need to have our competitive advantage. And being a tropical country, we can throw tropical plants and export them. But before we export them, we need to process them. So this is some of the things where we can export. That's our core competence.
That was Salah Kalmoni actually admonishing us to process before exporting. So that'll be it for business. But you can join me for more on the marketplace between 1 and 1:30. My name is John Kojo Amwakon. Up next is your sport.
It's time for entertainment here on Joy News today. My name is Becky. Now, Reggie and Boli have arrived in Ghana Tuesday, and they have been doing a couple of media tours to officially announce their purpose in Ghana.
On their arrival at the Kotoka International Airport, the duo was greeted with a joyful cheer from family, friends, fans, and the media.
This is home, and we are really buzzing, yeah.
This is their first trip to Ghana after they were judged the first runner-up in one of UK's most watched reality shows, X Factor. Reggie and Boli had disclosed that they are coming to Ghana to shoot the first major video for one of the songs on their album, which will be released later in the year. They explain why Ghana is a preferred choice.
We feel like this is the opportunity for us to sell Ghana, so the cultural values here and everything is going to project in the video, so that's going to air across the world.
They are in Ghana for 4 days and will leave on the Friday, 29th of April, 2016.
Away from Reggie and Boli, veteran actor Joe says nothing has changed in the Ghana movie industry, adding that the new crop of actors are only telling stories that were told in his youthful days.
Is it better than your time?
No, it's not better than our time. It's not better. We are all almost equal.
It cannot be equal. You have, okay, what makes it equal then?
Listen, the reason why it's equal is if you see Ajos, I'm a robber, and you see youth, this is series, you can get those people inside.
I'm not talking about the series, I'm talking about the movie industry in general. So let's put...
The movie industry is the same as they use script.
Yes, I know they use scripts. I'm saying that Ajos back in in the 80s, playing movie roles, and let's say today, movie stars that we have today, the things that you did back in the 80s and what they are doing today, are they the same?
It's the same. It's the same advice.
So you think that the movies of these days are of good standards?
It's all the same. If I go and see somebody, or I go and harass somebody, or I take gun, I'm old man. You don't see old man. Some old men defy children. Just small girl. You see some 30, 60 years, 40 years men. They go in for these small girls. You don't see. They go there and they rape them. They defy them. They put them into prison. You see. So if I play that part, in my old mind, I play that part. It's the same thing. I'm giving the nation. This is prayer comfort your room, but you know good for you. I don't. Sangrajo, yo, Sangrajo, solele, Ginabo, awa, Ginabo, Adum TV, Ginabo, Nakotichum, Yamishao, workers, Yamishamo, and what this is prayer comfort your room, but you know good for you. Sangrajo, yo, Sangrajo, solele, Ginabo. They come now fast and for fight because of not them, not this Sakotichum. It's a book that you do, Makwa.
That's how we end entertainment here on Joy News today. My name is Becky. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And that's how we wrap up on news today this afternoon on your Joy News channel here on Multi TV. My name is Kwabna Chenche. Remember to visit myjoyonline.com for a lot more stories. The marketplace is up next with John Omarco. Many thanks for your company.